Were you surprised you weren't fired?
I feel like I've been fired by America.
I bet you did. Yeah.
Oh, Glenn, I've been fired by America. Whoopee! Couple of months ago, I wanted to give Julie Masino, the doofus CEO of Cracker Barrel, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt in her interview with Glenn Beck, who, by the way, for the better part of 2 decades, Glenn Beck has been demonized by the mainstream media. He's been labeled a conspiracy theorist. He has been discredited. He has been ostracized because he didn't want to be a part of their club of corruption. But a lot of his predictions, not all of them, but a lot of the predictions that Glenn Beck made 10, 15 years ago, they ended up being right. When he was at Fox News, he warned anyone who was willing to listen that communists and Islamists would work together to destroy America. And that is exactly what they are trying to do. But anyway, I wanted to give Julie Masino the benefit of the doubt when she was interviewed by Glenn Beck around Thanksgiving. During the interview, she seemed sincere. She seemed to recognize that putting the woke wiener on the menu was a monumental mistake. Cracker Barrel fired the diversity doofus that convinced them to embrace the disease of diversity. Listening to Julie Masino in that interview, she seemed dedicated to atoning for her sins and refocusing on Cracker Barrel's core customer base, which is older people. But as is always the case, you can't always believe what people say. You gotta look at what they actually do. I don't know if this is just a Southern tradition or if this is a tradition throughout the country. Either way, it doesn't really matter because Cracker Barrel is a Southern restaurant. Down here in the South, we eat black-eyed peas throughout the year, but on New Year's Day, if you are preparing a meal for friends and family, you better be damn sure the meal includes black-eyed peas. I don't care if you're serving breakfast. You better serve black-eyed peas with breakfast. The tradition was started decades, maybe even centuries ago. You eat black-eyed peas for New Year's Day to bring luck into the new year. Now, obviously, it's got nothing to do with luck. Just like the 40 days of Lent, the 40 days of abstinence following Mardi Gras has nothing to do with the parades. But just like Mardi Gras is a tradition for 3 weeks towards the beginning of the year, eating black-eyed peas on New Year's Day is a tradition down here in the South. It's just what we do. Now, it has been many moons since Uncle KC has eaten at Cracker Barrel, but I'm pretty sure black-eyed peas are a featured item on the menu all year. Just like green beans or eggs are on the menu all year. Yesterday, older couples who are willing to give Cracker Barrel another chance after this unbelievable dump spent most of the year neglecting them, older couples went to Cracker Barrel yesterday with the expectation that black-eyed peas would be served to bring good luck into 2026. And once again, Cracker Barrel failed to meet their expectations. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So we're going to get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffernoggin. I'm not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food, but if there's one time of the year where I break this habit, it's football season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone on Sunday afternoons, beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffernoggin. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is a Fluffernoggin? Fluffernoggin is gourmet beef jerky that is 100% made in America. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. All these cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffernoggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. First beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffernoggin comes in a variety of flavors, ranging from mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or, if you're like me, you'll just stick with the original style flavoring. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL30, BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffernoggin. Anytime you're in a crisis, and with Cracker Barrel losing over 60% of its value in the last 6 months, they are damn sure in a crisis. When you're going through something like this, you want to control the controllable. One of the best ways to do that is to give people what they want. You give your customers exactly what they expect from you. If by some miracle Uncle Casey goes to Cracker Barrel, I expect the storefront to have thousands of trinkets. I expect my nephews to find the loudest toy possible and ask me to buy it so it annoys my sister. And I expect the food to be the drizzling shits. If Cracker Barrel managed to serve me a good meal, they would actually fail to meet my expectations. Seriously though, older people went to Cracker Barrel yesterday expecting to honor Southern tradition. This is an expectation that should have been easy to meet. It's not like black-eyed peas are prohibitively expensive. It's not like Cracker Barrel was going through budget cuts and they could no longer afford to serve peas. Out of curiosity, I looked up pricing for black-eyed peas. You can get a 1-pound bag for a couple of dollars. A pound of black-eyed peas would feed the entire family. But when Grandma and Grandpa went to Cracker Barrel yesterday, this traditional dish was mysteriously missing from the menu. Why? No one knows. Fox News reached out to Cracker Barrel asking what happened to the peas. Were they victims of a robbery? Did hungry criminals break in on New Year's Eve and steal all the peas? Is there a shortage of peas in the southeastern United States? Did rats chew into the bag and eat all the peas? At this point, anything is possible. All I know is there were a lot of pissed off older people yesterday, and Cracker Barrel has once again disappointed their primary customer base, and they wonder why they continue to struggle. You know, as we get older, we become more and more resistant to change. No matter what day of the week it is, I can tell you exactly what my dad is doing. Monday morning, he's cutting the yard around the corner from my house. Monday at lunch, it's beans with Bob. He eats at the same Mexican restaurant with my Uncle Bob on Mondays at lunch. Tuesday, he meets my other uncle for lunch. Saturday, he will text me for lunch, and it's always going to be one or two of the same places that he wants to go eat. At 74 years old, he is very regimented. He doesn't like disruptions to his routine as schedule. Hell, I'm the same way. I am very habitual. Me and one of my friends, we were talking about this the other day. He quit drinking 10 months ago. It's been about 18 months for me. We were both habitual drinkers. I'm sure doctors would say that we had a problem, but for me, it was mainly a habit. When I quit drinking, I didn't have withdrawals. I didn't have the shakes or any other symptoms. I just decided to quit, and I quit. While we were talking the other day, my friend said, we're both the same way in everything that we do. We are either all in or we are all out. There is no in between. When you're habitual, there's not just one aspect of your life that's habitual. Everything becomes a habit. Where you eat, what you drink. And the thing with people who are habitual, once a habit is broken, you're done. You forget all about it. And I think that's what's happened with Cracker Barrel. This once profitable brand has endured a combination of factors that has led to its demise. And most of these factors were self-inflicted. You neglect your primary customer base by proudly embracing the woke wiener. Then you neglect them again by quietly dismissing a Southern tradition on New Year's Day. To make matters worse, your food is the drizzling shits. Headline at the Wall Street Journal: Cracker Barrel diehards think that the food isn't up to scratch. Translation: older people think the food sucks. For a lot of these people, eating at Cracker Barrel was a habit. Sunday mornings after church, the grandparents take the entire family to Cracker Barrel for lunch. Grandpa sits in the rocking chair with his grandson, granddaughter. Once you piss Grandpa off and he chooses another restaurant for Sunday lunch, more than likely, you will never get him back. You'll never see him again. And what can potentially happen? Grandpa, the patriarch of the family, he quits taking the family on Sundays. Then his son doesn't keep the tradition, which means the grandson doesn't keep the tradition. So you have lost 3 generations of customers in just one family. This same thing happened with Bud Light. 10 years ago, shares of Bud Light were trading for $120 a share. 3 years ago, they decide to make Bob Dylan Mulvaney the face of their brand. Boycott lasted for months. Dudes who drank Bud Light found another beer to drink, and Bud Light never fully recovered. Today, shares are down 50% compared to where they were 10 years ago. I don't understand how Julie Masino is still leading the company. Her words a couple of months ago seemed sincere, but her actions don't match her words, and Cracker Barrel continues to decline. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.